Hi and welcome to a new episode of your weekly medical TV show on الكرمة TV, White Coat. Before we start off, we're approaching Christmas, so all the White Coat team wishes you a happy, Merry Christmas full of blessings. Today we'll continue talking about the 21st century epidemic, which is diabetes mellitus. Diabetes is a chronic, lifelong condition that affects your body's ability to use the energy and the glucose that existing in food. Almost in United States of America, 9% are diabetics, according to the 2015 statistics. In our previous episodes, we talked about the relation between obesity and diabetes, different types of diabetes, symptoms and signs of the disease, and all the oral medication in the market used in the treatment of diabetes mellitus. Today, we'll focus more on the insulin and its role in treating diabetes mellitus. We'll talk about different kind of insulin, who would be a good candidate to be put on insulin, and it would be my pleasure and honor today to welcome back in White Coat one of the outstanding physicians in Southern California, Dr. Fariborz Shams, to talk to us and teach us more about the topic. And as you know by now, for interaction with the program, send in all your questions and concerns to our official Facebook page, White Coat Alkarma TV. Or if you want to interact with the guest today directly with any question regarding that topic, you can call the numbers that will be shown on the screen at any time during the episodes. We are approaching the New Year 2019 as well. So beside we wish you all Happy New Year full of joy, success, and happiness, but it's important to prepare right for the new year and to have the right resolutions for it as well. That's why it makes me excited about the next episode, because it would be helpful and beneficial for everybody. Setting the right resolutions for the new year, either on the physical aspect or a psychological aspect. So please stay tuned for our New Year episode, as we will have our nutritional coach, Dr. Julie Kaif, and our psychological coach, Dr. Shoshana Bennett, to help us to setting the right resolutions for the new year. أعزائي مشاهدي قنوات الكرمة في كل مكان في العالم، بحب أرحب بيكم في حلقة جديدة من برنامجكم الطبي الأسبوعي على شاشات قنوات الكرمة وايت كود. الحقيقة قبل ما نبتدي، لكل إخواتنا اللي بيحتفلوا بالتقويم الغربي أو بالكريسماس على التقويم الغربي، بنحب نقول لهم ميري كريسماس، كل أعياد ميلاد وانتم طيبين. ربنا دايما يجيب الأعياد دي ويعيدها عليكم بكل الصحة والسعادة يا رب. النهاردة هنتكلم أو هنستكمل بقى سلسلة حلقاتنا اللي بدأناها عن مرض السكر. والحقيقة احنا بدأنا من 3 حلقات فاتوا مع حضراتكم، اتكلمنا على مرض السكر، ايه هو مرض السكر، ايه هي أنواع مرض السكر اللي موجودة. اتكلمنا كمان على الأعراض والعلامات اللي بتظهر على مريض السكر. والحقيقة الحلقة اللي فاتت، أو يعني 3 حلقة في السلسلة دي، اتكلمنا على كل أنواع الأدوية اللي موجودة في الماركت أو في السوق بشكل عام، اللي هي بتتاخد عن طريق البق وبنستخدمها في علاج مرض السكر. الحقيقة النهاردة هنركز أكتر على الإنسولين. هنتكلم على كل أنواع الإنسولين الموجودة في السوق، امتى المريض يروح من الأدوية اللي بتتاخد عن طريق الفم، امتى إن احنا نبتدي نحطه على الإنسولين. كمان هنتكلم على ايه انواع الانسولين الموجوده، ايه الاثار الجانبيه اللي ممكن تبقى عليه. الحقيقه النهارده كمان هنتكلم على نقطه مهمه جدا، وهي فكره انه اول ما بنقول لاي بيشنت انت هتبقى على انسولين، بيقول بس هي دي نهايه المطاف والمفروض خلاص بقى ان انا حياتي بتنتهي. والحقيقه انه ده مش صحيح، وهنوري حضراتكم النهارده الكلام ده ازاي انه مش صحيح، وانه مش سيء ان انت تبقى على انسولين زي ما الناس متخيله بشكل كبير جدا. فالحقيقة هتبقى حلقة رائعة جدا. وزي ما حضراتكم عارفين، أي أسئلة خاصة بمرض السكر، أي أسئلة خاصة بالإنسولين بأنواعه، بالحاجات اللي موجودة في السوق، تقدروا تبعتوا لنا كل الأسئلة دي على صفحتنا الرئيسية اللي حضراتكم عارفينها خلاص دلوقتي على الفيسبوك وايت كوت الكرمة تي في. أو لو حضراتكم عايزين تتواصلوا مع ضيفي النهاردة، تقدروا تكلمونا في الأرقام اللي هتبقى موجودة قدامكم على شاشة في أي وقت من أوقات البرنامج. والحقيقة أنه ضيفي من أحد أحسن الأطباء اللي بتتكلم في الموضوع ده هنا في جنوب كاليفورنيا، دكتور فاريبورز شامس. تقدروا حضراتكم تكلموه في أي وقت لو ليكوا أي استفسارات خاصة بمرض السكر، بالإنسولين، أي حاجة خاصة بالموضوع ده. بنحب نستقبل أسئلتكم عليها على الهواء مباشرة تقدروا تتواصلوا مع ضيفي. حاجة تانية مهمة جدا، غير ان انا متحمس للحلقة دي جدا لانه اوريدي جالنا اسئلة عليها كتير. حلقة الاسبوع الجاي او زي ما بنسميها حلقة راس السنة او حلقة السنة الجديدة، والحقيقة احنا زي ما احنا متعودين في وايت كوت هنعملها بشكل مختلف. هيبقى معانا مدربين، هنعملها بسيستم المدربين زي ما عملنا حلقة السنة اللي فاتت. المرة دي او الاسبوع الجاي هيكون معانا 2 من المدربين. واحد او دكتورة بنت هتعلمنا ازاي نستعد للسنة الجديدة ونحط اهداف للسنة الجديدة ونتوازن بالشكل على المستوى النفسي اكتر. هيبقى معانا كمان دكتور جولي كايف، هي معاها دكتوراه في التغذية والماجستير بتاعها في نفس الموضوع. فالحقيقة هتعلمنا ازاي الجانب البدني بقى او الاستعداد البدني للسنة الجديدة. كلنا طبعا قررنا ان احنا نبقى على دايت من اول السنة الجديدة، بس هي هتعلمنا ازاي نختار الدايت الصح اللي يناسبنا، وازاي نحط يعني اهداف ونقدر نحققها على المستوى البدني. فالحقيقة هتبقى حلقة رائعة جدا هنتعلم فيها مع بعض ازاي نستعد للسنة الجديدة من الجانب البدني او الجانب النفسي، لانه ده شيء مهم جدا. وفي الجانب النفسي هنتعلم ازاي ننمي عادة والعادات الكويسة ونستمر عليها. هتبقى الحقيقة حلقة رائعة، أنا كمان متحمس ليها جدا زي ما أنا كمان متحمس لحلقة النهاردة. زي ما قلت لحضراتكم صفحتنا الرئيسية على الفيسبوك أو تتصلوا بالأرقام الموجودة قدامكم على الشاشة. ويلا بينا نبتدي فقرات برنامجنا النهاردة من وايت كوت.
Are you tired of being overweight? Do you suffer from diabetes? Do you suffer from hypertension? Do you suffer from obstructive sleep apnea? Do you suffer from hypercholesterolemia? Have you suffered from heart attacks in the past? Strokes in the past? Are you tired of being ostracized in public? Well, I have a solution for you. Robotic bariatric surgery. This can completely change your life. I'm Dr. Bobby Bascarow. I'm a robotic bariatric surgeon. I do robotic weight loss surgery, which can completely change your life. I offer 3 different types of surgeries that can completely change your life. The sleeve gastrectomy, the lap band, and the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. One thing that's very unique about our program in that we have a dietitian, and you will get counseled on what to eat, what not to eat, and how to optimize the utilization of your tool for good weight loss.
Hi and welcome to the first episode of White Coat. I'm Tamer, Meshel, the host of the new show White Coat.
And people began to drink alcohol as a social lubricant, and from there they began to misuse it, and they abuse it.
Not focus so much on the chemical and think more of the brain. In other words, the person.
Behavioral interventions are crucial. What we have to recognize is a non-judgmental, loving, compassionate support.
The best way to treat addiction is to prevent it, okay? So be very mindful, be educated, work with a doctor that knows what they're prescribed.
I would hope through programs like yours, getting the word out, that people understand it's not that they're bad people, it's just that they're ill.
Take care of your sleep if you want to sleep. Go to bed at about the same time every day.
Most of our communities across the country are struggling in one way or another with drugs. It affects our level of productivity, it affects our kids in schools.
You don't want to take anybody for granted. I mean, Henry and I, for instance, when he does the dishes every night, which he loves to do for some reason, I always thank him.
We can have excellent diabetes control, and we can prevent most complications if we start early enough.
discontinue any sugary drinks or only have 1 cup a day. Number 2, be aware of your calories.
Thank you for your overwhelming support and your wonderful interaction with White Coat.
Hello, my name is Dr. Fariborz Shams. I was originally born and raised in Tehran, Iran. I moved to the United States in 1976 and actually moved to Anaheim. I started my high school here in Anaheim, Lower High School, and graduated from high school, moved on and went to University of California, Irvine. I'm coming from a background of physician from generation and generation going back about at least 200 years. I have had every family member from the kings of Iran until me being a physician. So being a doctor have always been in my blood, and I have always looked up to my uncle, who was a great orthopedic surgeon back in Iran, and moved to Anaheim too. I finished up my undergraduate at UCI and basically moved on to Kansas City, Missouri, and I did my osteopathic medical education and graduated with the Doctor of Osteopathy from Kansas City, and that's when I moved to Detroit, Michigan to do my residency. I did 3 years of internal medicine residency, and that's where I met my beautiful wife, Salma, who was actually, I was the chief resident at that time, and she was starting her residency program. After I finished my chief residency at Michigan, I became board certified and moved back to where I started in Anaheim. And the hospital that I'm working with is West Anaheim. And interesting, this is the hospital that when I was going to high school, I used to work as a phlebotomist. Now I came back as a physician. I've been working here since 1995 in the hospital. Have been through a lot of different roles. With the latest one, I'm chief of staff at the hospital. And my wife actually came and joined me in internal medicine. She's an internist also. Now we have this practice in Anaheim. And my goal have always been to take care of the patient. And one of the requirements that I talk to my patient about is I consider them as my own family, and I want them to feel like they are part of me. We have a very good relationship with each and every one of my patients. I've been taking care of them for ever since they were kids. Now for 25 years, they're adult, and it's always been a joy. And that's a reward that I get. Other things that I have been doing here, about 4 years ago, I started internal medicine residency program at West Anaheim. Ever since I came to Anaheim, I really wanted to give back to the community, to help people. These doctors taught me, and I thought this is my responsibility now to teach them. So I have started a residency program, internal medicine 3-year residency program, and I have already have 2 graduate class. We're going into the 3rd year resident, and I'm happy to say they're outstanding. They have gotten fellowship position. They have started other practices throughout the country, and we're becoming top-notch, one of the best internal residence program. I have been always there, and I'm looking forward to be here again and taking care of all my family members in Anaheim. A few weeks ago, I was contacted from White Coat TV, and to be talking and maybe reaching out to more patients, trying to help as much as I can. And I was very receptive. This is in line with what I do believe in, to giving back to community, to giving back to the people and helping people out. And I really like the idea, and I'm very enthused to do that. See you on White Coat on Alkarma TV.
اهلا بحضراتكم مره تانية في فقرتنا الرئيسيه النهارده من وايت كوت. زي ما قلت لحضراتكم مشينا معاكم رحله مع مرض السكر، عملنا 3 حلقات قبل كده. النهارده هتكون حلقتنا الاخيره في سلسله الحلقات اللي عملناها عن مرض السكر بشكل عام. هنركز فيها اكتر على الانسولين وانواعه، مين البيشنت اللي يبقى كانديديت كويس للانسولين. هنتكلم فيها على كل ده مع حضراتكم. بحب افكر حضراتكم قبل ما نبتدي لأي استفسارات تحبوا تبعتوها لنا، أو أي أسئلة تحبوا إن احنا نجاوبها عن الموضوع ده، تبعتوا لنا على صفحتنا الرئيسية على الفيسبوك وايت كوت الكرمة تي في. هتطلع قدامكم على الشاشة دلوقتي. بتقدروا حضراتكم تبعتوا لنا كل أسئلتكم واستفساراتكم على صفحتنا الرئيسية على الفيسبوك، أو لو حضراتكم عايزين تتواصلوا مع ضيفي تقدروا تتكلموا على الارقام اللي هتبقى موجوده قدام حضراتكم على الشاشه دلوقتي، ودي صفحتنا الرئيسيه على الفيسبوك. تقدروا تبعتوا لنا كل الاسئله اللي حضراتكم عايزين ان احنا نجاوبها عن مرض السكر بشكل عام. It's my pleasure and honor today to welcome back on White Coat one of the outstanding physicians in Southern California, Dr. Fariborz Shams. Welcome back to White Coat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Shams, we went through like the whole journey with you about diabetes. We started from what is diabetes, symptoms, signs, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So just a quick reminder about the diagnostic criteria of diabetes mellitus before we start talking about the insulin. When do you diagnose your patient as a diabetic patient for sure?
Yeah, we should always then thank you for inviting me again. It's always joy to come back. And to just reiterate what's with diabetes, you know, there's basically what I call 3 different normal when you don't have diabetic, when we have pre-diabetic patient, and diabetic, full-fledged diabetic. Slide 2 will highlight those. You have, if you have fasting blood sugar is less than 100, you basically you're normal. The important thing with diabetes, as before we said, is 2 hours after you eat. Mm-hmm.
We'll have the slide now on this.
Slide, yeah, slide number 2 show 2 hours after you eat. If your blood sugar goes below 140, is normal. The area that I call pre-diabetic, I call most of my patients are in the border, gray area. You have a choice. Is if your fasting blood sugar is between 100, but have to be less than 126. Okay. If 2 episodes above that, you're diabetic, but you have to be below 126. You just between 100 and 126 is your pre-diabetic area. 2 hours after you eat, blood sugar is between 140 and 200 is that gray zone that we talked about. Now, full-fledged diabetic are the one if you have 2 episodes of fasting blood sugar above 126, and or you're basically 2 hours after you eat is greater than 200, and you have all the symptoms, you know, you're peeing, thirsty, and everything. That's very important. I always, if you pay attention to 2 hours, I always say 2 hours, 2 hours, because that is the most important thing. Most of my patients will think that fasting blood sugar, which it is important, but the one more important than that is 2 hours after you eat. So you need to pay attention to that. Okay. So if you're above 200 or you have symptoms,
so that's a landmark.
That's a line. That's you're diabetic.
Okay.
Consider that.
أعزائي المشاهدين، كان سؤالي لدكتور شمس عن إزاي حضرتك تقدر تشخص إنه البيشنت ده مريض بمرض السكر فور شور. فقال لي الحقيقة زي هنسترجع ده مع حضراتكم ونراجعه بسرعة، إنه في الطبيعي لو أخدت السكر، معدلات السكر في الدم بتاع حضرتك وحضرتك صايم، يبقى أقل من 100 مللي جرام بر ديسيليتر. لو ما بين انه من 100 ل 126 وحضرتك صايم، يبقى انت كده بنسميها في الجراي اريا انه حضرتك في مرحله ما قبل الدايابيتس، او ما قبل ان انت تتشخص بشكل رسمي انه حضرتك مريض سكر. والحقيقه في الجزء الثالث اللي تحت ده يا ريت نحط عليه هايلايت. لو حضرتك اكتر من 126 تحت اي ظرف من الظروف فحضرتك مريض دايابيتس فور شور. في تيست تاني بنعمله انه حضرتك دي كانت الارقام الصايمه، يبقى لو خدنا معدلات السكر وحضرتك صايم اقل من 100 انت اوكي، من 100 ل 126 حضرتك في مرحله ما قبل مرض السكر، اكتر من 126 صايم يبقى حضرتك اكيد هتتشخص كمريض سكر. في تيست تاني بنعمله ان حضرتك تاكل وبعد ساعتين بنشوف معدلات السكر. في الطبيعي انه بعد اي ساعتين من اكلنا لو نقدر نراجع السلايدز دي تاني واخدنا معدلات السكر في الدم تبقى حضرتك اقل من 140. لو حضرتك ما بين 140 ل 200 بعد ساعتين من الاكل لو خدنا معدل الجلوكوز يبقى حضرتك في مرحله ما قبل مرض السكر. اكتر من 200 يبقى حضرتك بتشخص كمريض سكر فور شور. ويوجوالي لو بعد ساعتين من الاكل اكتر من 200 بشكل عام بنشخص حضرتك كمريض سكر. So Dr. Shams, those are the diagnostic criteria. What about the treatment goals, numbers, for any diabetic patient?
That's the whole goal of diabetic. You need to control it, and as long as you know the definition, the goal is really important.
Okay.
With my patient, I stress to them, as we said, the gray zone, you always want to be below that gray zone. So the fasting blood sugar should be between 90, 125, 130 when they do the fasting blood sugar. There is a test called hemoglobin A1C. Okay. What that test is, to refresh everybody's memory, is average. If you check your blood sugar every minute, every second of the day, 24 hours a day for 90 days, you divide that number, what you get is average blood sugar. And that average blood sugar, we call it the hemoglobin A1C.
Okay.
And that goes by percentage, 7, 8, 9, 10. But if it's less than 7, you're fairly good control. You want the goal to be at least minimum, the lower the better, but below 7. Okay. That's a really mark that they have to have.
So when you coach your patient, you tell them, I want your hemoglobin A1C below 7 no matter what.
Actually,
we
yes.
have to get to this.
We got to get to it, and I'm getting, actually, the diabetic changes, we find a lot of things every day on a daily basis, right. And that gets rearranged. A few years ago, it used to be 7.5. Before that, originally it was 8, 7.5, and once we find out the complication as the number is high, so they readjusted. Okay. Right now, 7 is good, so as long as my patient have to have below 7, that's okay. A must. Then you go postprandial sugar, you want it to be less than 180. But anything above that, that is way too high. Other things that you need to control, diabetic is not the disease that affects everything in the body. So you need to control the blood pressure. Your okay. blood pressure, systolic blood pressure, top number is below 130. Diastolic below 80. You need to keep that under control because that's going to affect it. Now, it affects diabetes, affects cholesterol level, and we have two kind of different cholesterol. We have a good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. The bad cholesterol is LDL, and it is still, they say less than 100. They're revising it very soon. Actually, it's going to be mandatory to be below 70. Okay. Diabetic patient, LDL, have to be below 70. The one recommendation coming up. The good cholesterol that's going to protect your heart and everything else have to be at least minimum 40. The higher it is, the better it is. And you can do it with medication. I like exercises. Okay. That would be best thing. So triglyceride, which is basically fat circulating in the circulation, like it to be at least below 150. Again, the lower, the better. And that things, the diet, exercise would help. So fatty food, cutting back on those, eggs and stuff like that. So that would help. So these are the goals that I have.
And you told us last time, diabetes can be the best disease in the world, best or it can be the worst disease.
Oh boy, it is. Yes. It is the best. You could not ask for a better disease, but then it is the most deadliest disease. So it's all in your hand.
It's all the patient decision then.
That's all it is.
الحقيقه سؤالي لدكتور شمس كان عن احنا كلمنا حضراتكم ازاي نشخص مرض السكر او ايه الارقام اللي بنشخص عندها مرض السكر. الحقيقه السؤالي الثاني ليه ايه هي الارقام اللي مريض السكر المفروض يبقى ما بين الارقام دي. قال لي انه السكر الصايم عند مريض السكر ما يتعداش باي حال من الاحوال 125 130 من 90 ل 130 على اقصى حال من الاحوال. بنفكر حضراتكم وناقشنا ده في الحلقة اللي فاتت، السكر التراكمي اللي هو الهيموجلوبين A1C يبقى أقل من 7%. حاجة تانية مهمة جدا إنه لازم نعتني بالضغط، ضغط الدم مع كل مرضى السكر، لأنه ممكن يعمل مشاكل كبيرة جدا، يبقى من بين 130 ل 80 بأقصى حال من الأحوال. حاجة تانية لازم نعتني بيها نسبة الدهون في الجسم، الدهون منخفضة الكثافة تبقى أقل من 100 زي ما حضراتكم شايفين اللي هي ال LDL. الدهون عالية الكثافة تبقى أكتر من 40. لو نقدر نحط بوينترز كمان على الشاشة يبقى مهم جدا. كمان الدهون الثلاثية اللي هي الترايجليسرايد تبقى أقل من 150 بأي حال من الأحوال. الأرقام اللي قدام حضراتكم دي مهمة جدا، ولازم كمان حضراتكم تبقوا فاهمين إنه الأرقام دي لازم أي مريض سكر بيبقى عندها بشكل مهم جدا جدا جدا. Dr. Shams, you told us about the oral medication we use before insulin. Which one do you feel it's more effective in controlling hemoglobin A1C in general?
As we went previous episodes, there is a lot of oral medication, and those are that has been came out originally, like sulfonylurea, that was the first one, and all the way up to the most recent one, which is called GLP-1.
Okay.
And as the science grows, that we understand more of diabetes and how to treat it, it's basically we have opened up a new door of how the body works. To me, SGLT2 drugs like Invokana, Farxiga, and they really bring the blood sugar lower at the best because the mechanism, as we talked about before, secreting, getting rid of the sugar through the body and metabolism. Other drugs like GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide drugs, that is a natural hormone that you secrete from intestinal tract that helps that in combination. So there is a lot of oral medication in conjunction with the injection that I use, and it does help. Again, to reiterate for the viewers, so they need to know is the goal, that hemoglobin A1C, whatever it takes, be it diet, exercise, oral medication, injection medication, to bring that hemoglobin A1C down to less than 7.
We got the first question here on Facebook. She's 26 years old, female, and she has type 1 diabetes. She has hypothyroidism as well. So she's asking you, it's very hard to control her lipids, as you were like talking about. Do you have any recommendations for her?
As far as there is type 1, we talked about this before also. Type 1 are the patient who the body does not produce insulin, as opposed to type 2 diabetic, the body does produce. So that being given, with type 1, there is a lot of, we're going to talk about it, I like to talk about insulin, because obviously they don't produce insulin and they need that. They need to have blood sugar control with insulin. Now, with medication, oral medication like Invokana, Farxiga, which are the SGL2 class drugs, that will help them to secrete. The body usually takes the glucose, reabsorb the glucose. So that will get rid of some of the glucose, and the insulin will help also. So there is, it's just like a cooking. Okay. You have to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper until you get the level control. But my recommendation to her is, with the thyroid, which is really a big, huge, the most important organ in the body, thyroid with the hormone. Okay. Get that under control, which helps the sugar, and you can use the insulin along with some of the oral medication.
لمدام امال اللي بعتت لنا سؤال دلوقتي على الفيسبوك، بتقول انه عندها الغده الدرقيه فيها مشكله، مش قادره يعني تعمل كنترول على نسبه الدهون اللي اتكلمنا فيها. فزي ما دكتور شمس قال لحضرتك، فكره انه في دوايين، حاجه اسمها فارسيجا او انفوكانا، تقدري تضيفيهم للانسولين اللي حضرتك بتاخديه، سنس ان انت اوريدي تايب 1، وده هيساعد حضرتك بشكل كبير جدا في فكره انه حضرتك يعني يبقى في تحكم بشكل أكبر في نسب الدهون. So now we went through the oral medications. When you switch your patients to insulin, the first question we usually hear, is it the end of the world? Should I start counting down? Or what's the point here?
And that's interesting. People They get afraid of insulin.
Right.
But I talk to my patient, even at the beginning, and they're type 2, their body produces insulin. And I would try oral at the beginning, but we had a conversation that, you know what, there might be a day that we need to get some help, that we need to go another step, which is basically insulin. It does not mean end of the world. It is your natural hormone that your body produces ever since you were born. And we just need a little bit more push. So I consult them even beforehand, and they said, oh my God, am I gonna? I said, I didn't say. I'm just saying that if in case we should get to that level, it is not the end of the world. Actually, insulin does help you. So
they shouldn't start counting down or anything.
No, if anything, you know, that again, remember what I said, diabetic is the best and the worst. So controlling it, whatever it costs, if it's insulin, which your body produces itself, just basically you're augmenting it, you're giving it more. So
so insulin is not a bad choice as like people think, or it's not the end of the world.
Nope.
That's your message for them today.
Absolutely not.
بالحقيقه دايما برضو عشان قبل ما نبتدي ايه هو الانسولين، ايه انواع الانسولين اللي موجوده في السوق، سالت دكتور شمس على دايما الناس بتسال ان انا طالما خلاص اتحطيت على انسولين دي نهايه حياتي، المفروض بقى ابتدي اعد تنازلي زي ما بيقولوا. الحقيقه الموضوع مش كده خالص. زي ما قال دكتور شمس انه مش نهايه العالم انه حضرتك بقيت على انسولين. احيانا بنحتاج ان احنا نحط حضرتك على انسولين لما الانواع الادويه الثانيه ما بتشتغلش، ولكن ده هيساعد جسمك بشكل كبير جدا جدا جدا، فمش نهايه العالم. ودي نقطه من الحاجات اللي احنا عايزين نوصلها لكل البيشنتس بتوعنا النهارده، انه بلاش الفزع اللي موجود مع كلمه انسولين. مش معناها انه حضرتك تتفزع وانه دي نهايه العالم، والكلام اللي بنسمعه احيانا من المرضى الحقيقه ده مش صحيح. زي ما قال دكتور شمس، احيانا بنحتاج الانسولين لمزيد من المساعده او مساعده جسم حضرتك او حضرتك ان احنا نعمل كنترول بشكل اكبر على السكر. We keep mentioning insulin. What's insulin?
Oh, insulin, one of the interesting hormones of the body. I mean, insulin, actually, we have slide 9 that I can go through that.
Slide 9, yes.
And insulin is basically very interesting. It's one of the hormones that is secreted by your body in the pancreas. It's a polypeptide hormone, we call it. And you need that to manage everything in your body, all the cells. It's like a key that have to go open the gate so the the sugar can go inside the cell to be used as a fuel.
Okay.
So this insulin is produced in pancreas, which is the organ right beneath the stomach. And what it does, there is a cell called Langerhans cells, beta cells in the pancreas that produces this insulin, and it secretes into the blood and goes, and as I said, it's just like a key that opens the gate for the sugar to go inside the cell and start the cell to use it as a fuel, like a car, the gas. So it does affect everything in your body, as I said, using as a fuel, using it as a glucose, lipid, and all those things. You need that, like gas in the car, you need that to start working, to be able to work. So you need that key.
I'm going to stop here because people think insulin is only related to glucose. They link them together and that's it. So you're teaching us today it's not just related to glucose or carbohydrate metabolism, it's related to lipid and protein metabolism too.
It's absolutely, you need that, again, the fuel that you need that sugar, and you have to have that insulin to be able to control that, to metabolize it, to use protein, produce other stuff. So insulin is really, that's why I talk to my patient that insulin is not a bad thing. It's a hormone that you already have and you require to have. Okay. And it affects everything in your body.
Okay. الحقيقة سؤالي لدكتور شمس، احنا قعدنا نتكلم على الانسولين كتير. عايزين نعرف حضراتكم ايه هو الانسولين الاول قبل ما نتكلم في انواعه والحاجات اللي موجودة في السوق وازاي نقدر نستخدمها وانهي مريض ينفع لأي نوع من الانسولين. هنتكلم في كل ده النهارده، ولكن كلمة انسولين بشكل عام هو هرمون بيتفرز من البنكرياس، حاجة اسمها البيتا سيلز في البنكرياس بتفرز الهرمون ده. والجزء اللي عايزين نصححه في المفهوم النهارده انه الناس متخيلة انه الانسولين بس مع الجلوكوز، ولكن ده مش صحيح. الانسولين ايوه بيعمل كنترول على الجلوكوز، ولكن كمان بيعمل كنترول على معدل الدهون في الجسم والتمثيل الغذائي بتاع البروتين كمان. فاحنا لما النهارده بنتكلم على الانسولين بنتكلم على الكربوهيدرات او التمثيل الغذائي بتاع السكريات، التمثيل الغذائي بتاع الدهون، والتمثيل الغذائي بتاع البروتين كمان. فالثلاث حاجات دول مرتبطين بالانسولين، مش بس السكر. عشان كده اعضاء كتير جدا من جسمنا بتتاثر بالانسولين. ومهم جدا 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 انه في حاله نقص الانسولين زي ما في مرضى السكر ان احنا نفهم انه دي منظومه متكامله، مش بيأثر بس على معدلات السكر ولكن بيأثر على التمثيل الغذائي لكل عناصر الاكل التانية، وده بيبقى شيء مهم جدا جدا جدا. So how it works in our body, like you said, the lock and the key, how it works and control other the metabolism of other elements as well.
Well, the way insulin works, the main three area that they work is basically the liver, the muscle, and the fat. In the liver is very important because liver is the storage area. If you have too much of it, the liver store the fat, sugar, for the time that your liver goes down, so it can secrete. Brain is a very interesting organ. Brain in the body.
They only use glucose.
Glucose, that's it. There is nothing else that brain can use except glucose. And that's why it measures and it sends signal. If the sugar drops, send the signal to the liver, and liver is a storage. Open up the gate, send me some more sugar. So that's very important for the brain. So liver is really important for that, storage and helping the body.
And it's very important to let our viewers know brain and red blood cells, they only use glucose. So
that's
it's very, very important.
It is, and because hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, is not a good thing actually. It's bad because your brain get damaged. You need to have sugar for the brain to work. Otherwise, it's not good. So that's what one of the things for liver to support the brain, red blood cell, to have the glucose. The other area which is very important is your muscles. Muscles, I explain to my patient, is like the engine of the car. And the car engine only uses gasoline.
Right.
Gasoline in the body is called sugar. So it affects, insulin affects the muscle to pick up the sugar. So insulin affects the muscle. And that's why when you do exercises, you use up more and more and more of the glucose.
So insulin help exercising muscle, not the muscle in resting condition.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you don't, the car doesn't move, you don't need gas. So that's why it's so important. As with the other lady that we talked earlier for Facebook, it's to bring the sugar down is, exercise. Diet and exercise is really, really important. The more you use up your muscle, the more sugar you use, the lower your blood sugar goes. And lastly, the effect of it on fat. And fat, again, is the storage of all the basically unused sugar, carbohydrate, or lipid, and all these things gets stored in the fat. So insulin affects that.
So those three areas get affected by insulin.
Insulin, absolutely.
الحقيقة الدكتور سؤالي لدكتور شمس كان عن ايه هو الانسولين بيشتغل ازاي. احنا قاعدين نقول انسولين، قلنا لحضراتكم هرمون بيفرز من البنكرياس، بيشتغل على 3 اعضاء مهمين جدا في الجسم. اولهم بيشتغل على الكبد، لانه مهم جدا انه احنا نعرف انه الكبد له علاقه كبيره بفكره التمثيل الغذائي للجلوكوز. بيشتغل على العضلات اللي في حاله حركه او اللي في حاله اكسرسايز. عشان كده بنقول لكل مرضى السكر من الافضل ان حضراتكم يعني تعملوا اكسرسايز، لانه ده مهم جدا. بيشتغل كمان على الدهون في الجسم، فده مهم جدا ان حضراتكم تعرفوا دول ال3 اماكن الرئيسيين اللي بيشتغل عليهم الانسولين في الجسم. So when we say insulin, we'll have like it's a big stop in our episode today. What are the types of insulin? Which patient can be a good candidate for each type of insulin? How they work, duration of like action, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Again, insulin, we have come a long way from the days that first was invented, first was found, and now it's basically they make it. It's a protein that they make in enzymes, and
it's almost very close to natural now.
It's a natural. It's almost like 100%. It's a natural hormone of the body. And with the science, they have been able to manage to use the insulin that works different area, different time. How long does it take? How long is going to last? So basically, there's a few areas where the first one is very rapid acting insulins like Humalog, Novolog, Apria, which they work within 20 minutes.
Okay. They start working within 20
minutes.
Okay.
So it's a very rapid acting medication. And if we go to slide 13, we can show basically the onset of the action. So that I tell my patient, with that kind of insulin, you need to eat, just take it before you eat.
Okay.
Or if they don't know if you're going to eat it or not, just
so if they're not eating, they're not taking that kind of, okay.
They should not.
Okay.
Again, please, I want everybody to remember what I said. Hypoglycemia, low blood sugar is not good. You're damaging the brain, red blood cells, so you need to have sugar. So all the patients, all the people, do not take this rapid acting if you're not going to eat.
Okay.
Your blood sugar is going to go really low.
And we said it's like Humalog, Novolog, and in the Middle East, Humalin, Novolin, or Apidra.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So those, they start working right away within 20 minutes. If you're not eating, don't take it.
Don't take it.
Okay.
So that's a rapidly acting blood sugar.
How long do they last in the body as soon as like we take them?
Well, insulin, interesting. It gets the body, does its work, and body digested, and it's just out of your system. And usually the duration is about 3 to 5 hours maximum, and it won't be around anymore.
Okay.
So these are the very rapid acting, which is really good because, again, remember we talk about 2 hours after eating is the important part of the controlling hemoglobin A1C, and these are the drugs that will bring the blood sugar down.
Okay.
So it's important to know, and it's a very good medication.
Okay. So those are the fast-acting ones. Okay. الحقيقة أول نوع، ودي الحقيقة يعني من الأجزاء المهمة جدا إن إحنا نعرف إيه هي أنواع الأنسولين اللي موجودة في السوق، بتشتغل بعد قد إيه، بتشتغل لفترة قد إيه في جسمنا، وكل نوع من الأنسولين بيبقى أنهي نوع معين من المرضى بيشتغلوا معاه. الحقيقة الجدول ده مهم جدا لأنه بيعرفنا على أنواع الأنسولين المختلفة. رقم واحد بنسميها الأنسولين داتا، المفعول السريع اللي بيشتغل بسرعة ولكن ما بيقعدش في الجسم لفترة قليلة، ودول فيهم 3 أنواع أو يعني 5 أنواع مشهورين جدا في السوق. أهمهم على الإطلاق الهيمولوج، النوفولوج، الأبيدرا، الهيومالين، النوفولين. كل أنواع الأنسولين اللي احنا بنتكلم عليها دي بنسميها الأنسولين سريع المفعول. والحقيقة أنه ده لو شفنا في الجدول بيشتغل على طول من 15 ل 30 دقيقة. يعني أول ما حضرتك تبتدي تحقن نفسك بال5 أنواع اللي قلنا عليها بيبتدي يشتغل من 15 ل 30 دقيقة، بيوصل لأقصى معدلاته من خلال نص ساعة لساعة ونص، وبيفضل في الجسم من 3 ل 5 ساعات على الأكثر. فمهم جدا إن احنا نعرف إنه الأنسولين سريع المفعول اللي احنا قلنا أنواعه كلها، النوفولوج والهيومولوج بشكل عام، ما بيقعدش في الجسم أكتر من 5 ساعات، بيشتغل بعد من 15 ل 30 دقيقة، وبيوصل لأقصى معدل في الشغل ليه من 30 ل 90 دقيقة. نقطة تانية مهمة قالها دكتور شمس، إنه لو حضرتك مش هتاكل أو متأكد إن أنت مش هيبقى فيه وجبة دلوقتي، ما تاخدش النوع ده من الأنسولين، لأنه هيوطي الجلوكوز أو معدلات السكر في الدم بشكل كبير جدا، وده هيبقى خطر على حضرتك أو على حضرتك. So what other kinds of insulin we're talking?
So we move on to from the rapid acting one to the basically short acting, which was one of the original insulin that came out. That is regular insulin. And this regular insulin usually takes duration, and for them to start working is about an hour. And so my patient do have time to eat, so they're not going to start working until about half an hour to an hour. So, and they basically peak about 2 to 5 hours, 6 hours period. And it's totally out of the body by 8 hours maximum.
Okay.
These were original insulin that was available, and have done a great service and still being used. So that's a regular insulin.
Okay. الحقيقة النوع الثاني اللي احنا بنسميه احنا قلنا الأولاني خلاص سريع المفعول، النوع الثاني اللي بنسميه قصير المفعول، بيشتغل بسرعة ولكن كمان بيقعد فترة قصيرة في الجسم زي الأكترابيد والهيمل. الاثنين دول مهمين جدا ان حضراتكم تعرفوا انه بيشتغلوا، ولو جبنا الجدول تاني بيشتغلوا من 30 ل 60 دقيقة، ما بيقعدوش أكتر من ساعتين لخمسة، أو البيك بتاعهم أقصى معدل بيوصلوا له بعد ساعتين لخمس ساعات، ما بيقعدوش أكتر من 8 ساعات في الجسم فقط لا غير. What other types of insulin?
So the next class, as you can see, it goes step by step, is the one that basically called intermediate insulin, which is the NPH kind of drug. So through engineering, by chemical engineering, they managed to, for the insulin to take longer for it to peak, and usually is about around average of about 6 hours when you give the injection, 6 to 8 hours that start working, and it lasts in the body about 18 hours or so, and it's out of the body. So as you can see, it's just basically it's a little bit more longer acting. So.
الحقيقة النوع الثالث برضو من الانسولين بيشتغل فترة أطول في الجسم، اللي هو بنسميه الانسولين المائي اللي موجود في مصر، وده بياخد من ساعة لساعتين على بال ما يشتغل. ففي سبيس هنا إنه حضرتك تقدر تاكل وجبة في خلال دي. بيوصل للمعدلات بتاعته أو أعلى معدل بتاعه من 4 ل 12 ساعة، وبيقعد في الجسم ممكن من 18 ساعة ل 24 ساعة، بيغطي حضرتك بشكل عام. What about the long-acting ones, the last?
The other group that came out, then again with the invention of all the new engineering.
Biomedical techniques.
Biomedical technique, which is very fascinating by itself, is long-acting. Now, these long-acting are like Lantus or Levemir. These are the drugs that basically the way it works, and I want everybody to know because I like my patient to know how it works. They got this regular insulin, and they basically bind them together through protein.
Polymerize it. Yeah,
polymerize it, right, exactly. So it's like a crystal. So when you give the injection, the body starts chewing up those bonds and secrete one molecule at a time of insulin to the body, and so it just constantly goes up.
So it's like extended release.
Well, extended release, and the thing with these drugs is that it's really good and fascinating is they do not have a per se peak and valley. They don't go up and down like this. Like
so they plateau.
They plateau. They will start secreting, and it's just stand in the body throughout. The duration is about 24 hours, 18 to 24 hours in the body, and that's why it's a long-acting. We call it a basal insulin.
Or crystalline, I think.
Crystalline, yeah, it's because it's crystal, but it used, we give it, the physician here, we give it so it constantly secretes insulin throughout the body, and then you can augment it with the other kind of insulins.
الحقيقة الجزء الرابع أو النوع الرابع من الانسولين اللي هنتكلم عليه هو الانسولين الكريستالين أو الكريستالي، وده بيقعد في الجسم لفترة طويلة جدا. بيوصل للبيك بتاعه خلال ساعة ونص، بيقعد في الجسم احيانا اكتر من 24 ساعه. راجع مع حضراتكم الاربع انواع، اتكلمنا على الفاست اكتنج او النوع من الانسولين اللي بيشتغل بسرعه جدا في الجسم، وادينا حضراتكم عليه امثله زي الهيومولوج والنيفولوج، بيشتغلوا بسرعه جدا ما بيقعدوش في الجسم اكتر من 5 ساعات. او الجزء المتوسط اللي هو بنسميه الانسولين المائي بيقعد لحد 18 ساعه، او الانسولين الطويل اللي زي فيه اشهر نوعين فيه اللي هو الليفامير واللانتس، ودول بيقعدوا في الجسم اكتر من 24 ساعه. I want some scenarios from you here. Which one do you start with, or which patient would be a good candidate for each kind of insulin?
Good question. There's another class that I don't have the slide on that I want because I know a lot of viewers will probably have it. It's called like insulin 70/30.
Right, the mixture.
75/25. And what they did again, it's the brilliant mind that they produced that is like, for example, insulin 70/30. 70% of that insulin is that NPH that we talk about.
Okay.
And the 30%, the other 30% of it is the R, regular insulin.
Right.
So what they did, they mix it. So if, for example, if you're taking 10 units of 70/30, In actuality, you're getting 7 units of NPH and 3 units of R. And they use that to basically, as I said, the NPH is about average 8 hours. The other one is 4 hours, so you have a better control. And the Lantus and Levemir, the long-acting that I talked about, is basically, I like that as a background insulin or basal insulin or crystallized, whatever you want to call it.
Just to be in the background.
To be in the background, and that insulin is continuously secreting one molecule at a time in the blood sugar, so you always have insulin in your body. Okay. And that's what I like to use that. I like to use a basal, which is Lantus or Levemir, any of those drugs that you give. You start at a certain number, 10, 15, 20, whatever it is, and it's once a day injection most of the time. Okay. However, I have seen a lot of people are on twice a day, which is okay, but it was meant to be for once a day.
So you would like to start with the Levemir and Lantus to be on the background?
On the background.
Okay. And which kind of other insulin, like which patient would be a good candidate for each kind?
Well, basically, if you're type 1, you need insulin. Yeah. So that's your body, as I said, you don't produce an insulin. So would be a good one. I use it in type 2 diabetic as a base, what it is, and then I can add and customize other insulin to it. For example, I can give NPH, depending where, and that's one of the things that we talked before. Monitoring the blood sugar is very important for the physician. In the last episode, we talked about it, and I said you have to do the blood sugar, you have to write it, and take it to your doctor so they can see what the numbers are.
And you told us last time, don't chase your tail and keep like poking yourself every single
please, whatever you do, please do not do that. That's actually will get you anxious and your blood sugar will go up. So do not do that. That's not going to happen.
Okay, I have a question here from Martha. She's saying, I was diagnosed with hypoglycemia. What kind of diet would be fit for my condition? Please help.
Hypoglycemia, Martha, is really important, and happy you asked. As I said, your brain only uses the blood sugar, and there is nothing besides sugar that will. So it's really, really important. And most of diabetic people, I tell them, last episode we said, you need to eat about 6 to 8 times a day. But most of my patients say 6 or 8 times, I'm going to be looking like an elephant. I don't mean 6 to 8 times.
Not 6 to 8 meals, 6 to 8 times.
Times, which means a little bit, half a banana here and there. If you continuously start feeding yourself with just a small amount, of food, whatever, half a peanut butter, bread or something, the goal is to keep your blood sugar up at a certain level.
But she's asking if there is any kind of medication to help that, or?
To keep the blood sugar up, the only medication is sugar. No, it's just basically you have to have, there is, if the blood sugar, and your body will, Martha would tell you that you start getting shaky, you get sweaty, the heart start beating fast. What I have recommended to all my patients, and you should have it absolutely because you've been diagnosed with hypoglycemia, is called glucotab. It's a little tiny tab, it's big tab, but you put it in your mouth, actually, and it dissolves. And it gets absorbed to the body really fast, really fast, and it keeps your blood sugar up.
الحقيقة مارثا اللي بعت لنا سؤالك على الهايبوغلايسيميا، أو إنه عشان تبقى مشاهدينا فاهمين، الهايبوغلايسيميا هي إنه معدلات السكر بتنزل بشكل كبير جدا في الدم. زي ما قال دكتور شمس، جاوب سؤال حضرتك، حاجتين مهمين تعمليهم، إنه تاكلي من 6 ل 8 مرات في اليوم، وطبعا من 6 ل 8 مرات، يعني حتى كنا بنهزر، مش معناها من 6 ل 8 وجبات، ولكن من 6 ل 8 مرات أكلات خفيفة. ده هيحافظ على معدلات السكر في جسمك بشكل معقول. الحاجة التانية إنه تخلي دايما في جيبك حاجة اسمها جلوكوتاب أو أقراص جلوكوز، بتبقى دلوقتي في أقراص. لو حسيتي بالأعراض اللي هنقول عليها دلوقتي في الهايبوغلايسيميا، تبتدي تاخدي واحدة، والامتصاص بتاعها بيبقى سريع جدا. أتمنى إن احنا نكون جاوبنا على سؤال حضرتك. هرجع تاني لانواع الانسولين. اخر نوع اللي هو الانسولين النوع الخامس، اللي هو دايما حضراتكم بتلاقي عليه رقمين زي ال 70 30 او 75 25 وات ايفر ده ايه، ولكن ده معناه انه في نوع من الانسولين بيشتغل وبيغطي لفتره اطول، ونوع بيشتغل بسرعه. ده عشان نعمل يعني كنترول او سيطره افضل على معدلات السكر في الدم، لانه ده مهم جدا جدا جدا. هناخد فاصل او بريك ونرجع مع حضراتكم نكمل كل انواع الانسولين الموجوده في السوق، ايه هي الاعراض والاثار الجانبيه. ناخد فاصل ونرجع مع حضراتكم تاني.
Are you tired of being overweight? Do you suffer from diabetes? Do you suffer from hypertension? Do you suffer from obstructive sleep apnea? Do you suffer from hypercholesterolemia? Have you suffered from heart attacks in the past? Strokes in the past? Are you tired of being ostracized in public? Well, I have a solution for you. Robotic bariatric surgery. This can completely change your life. I'm Dr. Bobby Baskerau. I'm a robotic bariatric surgeon. I do robotic weight loss surgery, which can completely change your life. I offer 3 different types of surgeries that can completely change your life: the sleeve gastrectomy, the lap band, and the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. One thing that's very unique about our program is that we have a dietitian, and you will get counseled on what to eat, what not to eat, and how to optimize the utilization of your tool for good weight loss.
اهلا بحضراتكم في الجزء الاخير من حلقتنا النهارده اللي بنتكلم فيها على الانسولين كعلاج لمرض السكر بشكل عام. استعرضنا مع حضراتكم كل انواع الانسولين اللي موجوده في السوق. انهي مريض هيبقى يعني بيبقى فت او كانديديت كويس قوي لانواع الانسولين المختلفه، لانه ده كمان مهم جدا ان احنا نعرفه. Another quick question here. She's saying she's type 2, 54 years old female, and her doctor told her to switch from like oral medication to insulin. She's asking what kind of insulin can she switch to, since she's thinking about it. She's taking it seriously.
Yeah, it's important to, if your physician have recommended you to be on insulin, that means you're type 2, your body still produces insulin, but not enough to be able to support it. So I would go ahead and do that. I would change to, it's up to the physician, of course, because your physician knows you the best, but I would change my patient to a long-acting one, like Lantus or Levemir. As I said, that's the base level for the that's secreted constantly throughout the day, 24 hours. And then, according to your blood sugar during the day, your physician might add other medication to it.
She's saying too, like she has been losing weight lately, so insulin would be a good fit for her. Or?
Absolutely. That tells me that probably what's happening is the blood sugar is not really controlled, and that's why the physician is doing that, because she's losing weight, switching it to insulin, and that will help to help that.
مدام تهاني اللي بعتت لنا السؤال على انه هي بتاخد ادويه اقراص او بالبق يعني للسكر بتاعها، والدكتور بتاعها قال لها انها لازم تعمل سويتش الانسولين. بتسال انهي نوع من الانسولين. زي ما قال دكتور شمس، لانتس او ليفامير هم احسن انواع اللي انت حضرتك تعملي لها سويتش جنب باقي الانواع الثانيه، لانه ده مهم جدا. I have another question from Adil here. He says his non-fasting blood sugar is 73 all the time. It doesn't go beyond 73, and it's even sometimes it's higher when he's fasting. He was diagnosed with insulinoma. He's asking what could be the solution for this.
Well, to give a little bit of background of what insulinoma is, it's basically a tumor in the body that produces insulin.
In the pancreas itself.
In the pancreas itself, correct. And basically, to treat that is surgical removal of that tumor, which does that. Now, again, it depends how much and what it is. If it's 70, blood sugar is it's fantastic. And with medication, you know, with actually eating more often, as I said, 6-8 times a day, to just continuously keep that blood sugar at that level is the best thing. Personally, unless it's really urgent and emergent to have surgery done, I don't like any kind of surgery. I have always said, if God meant for you to have surgery, put a zipper on you so you can open it up. So,
right.
But
stay away from the surgeon as much as you can.
As much as you can. So by our viewer, if you eat more often, 6-8 times a day, and you portion it so you can keep your blood sugar at the level, that's the best thing I recommend.
Okay. هي أستاذ عادل بعت لنا سؤال بيقول إنه السكر بتاعه الفاطر 73 عمره ما بيزيد عن كده، والصايم أحيانا بيكون أعلى. بيقول كمان إنه اتشخص بالإنسولينوما والتحليل التراكمي بتاعه بيطلع قريب من العادي، فبيسأل هل من علاج؟ أستاذ عادل، الإنسولينوما ده بيبقى عبارة عن يعني ورم صغير موجود في البنكرياس، يعني مش خبيث او اي حاجه، ولكن البنكرياس بتاعك بيفرز انسولين كتير، ده بيوطي السكر. زي ما دكتور شمس قال، حضرتك تاكل 6-8 مرات في اليوم، يعني تاكل بشكل اكتر شويه، ولكن تاني مش 6-8 وجبات، 6-8 مرات في اليوم عشان تحافظ على معدلات السكر بتاعتك بشكل طبيعي. ولكن كمان هو قال انه الحل الوحيد لفكره الانسولينوما، حضرتك هنا بتقول انه حضرتك عملت تحاليل بس ما قلتش نتيجتها ايه، ولكن بشكل عام الانسولينوما التحليل بتاعها هو السيرجري او التدخل الجراحي. ولكن زي ما دكتور شمس قال، اذا تقدر تعيش وتقدر تاكل 6-8 مرات في اليوم بشكل عام وتبتعد عن فكره العمليه، طبعا هو يعني ما بيحبسش قوي فكره العمليه، ولكن لو هو ده الحل الوحيد في علاج الموقف يبقى مفيش حلول تانية نقدر نشتغل بيها. أستاذ عادل، أتمنى أن أنا أكون جاوبت على سؤال حضرتك. So we talked about all the 5 different kinds or categories of insulin. What about the subcutaneous insulin infusion or insulin pumps?
Insulin pump, right.
When do we go that route?
Well, patient that basically the blood sugar it's not really controlled. The pump, all the insulin, you have to give it subcutaneously. At the beginning, I should have said that you know it gets absorbed to the fat and the body metabolizes it. So what they do if we have a patient that is not really controlled and the blood sugar is all over the place, they would what they call is a pump, and that pump continuously secrete insulin, and then if the blood sugar is up, you can always give more insulin than you need.
You can control it.
You can control that too. Okay. You can control it, and again, with the science gets more and more interesting and better every day. The computer, the machine will monitor the sugar and infuse. Not like old days that you have to give the shots. So.
هي سؤالي لدكتور شمس كان عن ايه هو الانسولين بامب او مضخات الانسولين. Quick question, which type 1 or type 2 would be a better candidate for insulin pump?
Basically, I have my few patients, you know, type 1 is really good because this pump sort of become your pancreas.
Artificial pancreas.
Artificial pancreas, just like a dialysis, artificial kidney. That's why I tell my patients, this is your artificial brand new pancreas that you have. So as we talked about it before, type 1, they don't have insulin, so that's the best one. But that doesn't mean that type 2 patient cannot have it. A lot of my patients are type 2, and they require a lot of insulin, and it's not manageable. They have to pump.
So it's not type 1 or type 2, but it's a glucose level. If we can control it, insulin pump is a good
solution. The bottom line is just what your glucose is. That's it.
الحقيقة سؤالي لدكتور شمس عن مضخة الانسولين او اللي بنسميها الانسولين بامب، امتى بنستخدمها؟ قال انه احيانا معظم البيشنتس بيبقوا من النوع الاول من السكر تايب 1، احيانا بيبقى في بيشنتس تايب 2 بيحتاجوا انسولين نتيجة انه لما بنفشل ان احنا نعمل كنترول على السكر وارقام السكر طالعة مختلفة عالية طول الوقت، مش قادرين نعمل كنترول لا بالانسولين العادي ولا بالميديكيشن. بنفضل ان احنا نحط البيشنت دول على الانسولين بامب او مضخات الانسولين بشكل عام، على اساس انه نقدر نعمل كنترول اكبر على معدلات السكر. So what other indications for insulin besides type 1 and type 2 that we can use insulin for?
Well, again, the whole goal of it is to manage that. I keep going back to the hemoglobin A1C.
Okay.
But, as I said before, whatever the cost is to get that hemoglobin A1C below the 7 level that we talked about, be it taking insulin or medication, exercising, diet, what have you. Those are all, just insulin is the key.
Okay. Pregnant woman, is it better for them to use insulin?
Pregnant woman, yes. Okay, so as we said before, insulin is your natural hormone. That's what you were born with and you had. So a lot of times if the patient become pregnant, we do encourage, we take them off of the oral medication and for time being, put them on insulin. And I talk to my patient. I mean, when they're pregnant, they go to the OBGYN, but before that, I said, this does not mean that you're not insulin dependent. It doesn't mean you're end of the life or whatever. This is to get you through
the pregnancy. But she would have higher chances of being diabetic down the road.
There is a thing called gestational diabetes. Those are the patients that, they have not been diabetic, but when you get pregnant, again, amount of the insulin you need, the body cannot produce. So by definition, you are diabetic at that time.
الحقيقة برضو سؤالي دكتور شمس، ايه هو انواع البيشنتس التانية اللي بنحطها على انسولين؟ طبعا غير النوع الاول والتاني، احيانا بنحط السيدات الحوامل على انسولين لانه ما بنقدرش نديهم ادوية بالبق لانها بيبقى ليها تأثيرات جانبية على البيبي، فبنتجنب ده تماما اللي هو السكر اثناء الحمل، وبالتالي بنحطهم على انسولين. So why sometimes the early initiation of insulin would be beneficial for the patient? What are the benefits of putting the patient on insulin?
One of the important thing is, and that is, talk to my patient and I tell them, when we
slide 17 too.
Diagnose you with diabetes and you go on oral medication, which is fine, it helps your pancreas. There is a period with diabetic, we call it the honeymoon period, and that does happen a lot of time. What happened, your pancreas starts secreting a lot of insulin out, and basically you think, oh, well, my diabetic is gone away. But that's the time that your pancreas is working so hard, and it goes what we call burnout period, and your pancreas will basically die. So that is the time that we really need to start getting oral medication or insulin or what have you to help the pancreas don't get burnout period, and that's very important.
I'm laughing because I have a question here about the same exact topic. He's saying my doctor diagnosed with me, like he described his doctor with a word I cannot say it. He diagnosed me with diabetes, but now my diabetes is gonna have been taking my blood glucose level and it's fine. So
I'm very happy. I'm really thankful for you to ask that question because it's going to help a lot of people, a lot of our viewers that that is, if you are diagnosed with diabetic, if your blood sugar, as we talk about 130 and above in 2 different occasions, fasting, you're diabetic. At that point on, you're diabetic for the rest of your life. And again, let me say, diabetic is not end of the world. Diabetic is the best disease that you can have, and also it could be the worst disease that you can have. So if you have a label of diabetic, that I don't want anybody to be ashamed of it. You're diabetic, and that's it. That's it. Even there's a period that you're going to reach that your blood sugar will be perfect without taking any medication. And that is the most important part of the diabetes because that's called the honeymoon period. And that's when your pancreas is working so hard to produce that insulin that it's just like a car engine that gets burned out. And once you get to that level, then it's really, you're downhill. So be very careful, even if you don't take the medication. But if you have been diagnosed with diabetic, you're diabetic, with the diet and exercise, and maybe some sort of medication stuff, you give your pancreas a lift, a boost, so it doesn't get burned out.
حقيقة نقطة مهمة جدا اتكلم فيها دكتور شمس اللي بنسميها فترة شهر العسل لمرضى السكر. والحقيقة جالي سؤال هنا كان هو يعني المفتاح ان احنا نتكلم على الجزئية دي، انه احيانا انه بعض المرضى بيتشخصوا انه عندهم مرض السكر وبيطلع عندهم السكر عالي في مناسبتين ورا بعض اكتر من 130 صايم، فبنقول له خلاص حضرتك اكيد مريض سكر. بتيجي فترة بعدها اللي بنسميها فترة شهر العسل، يجي المريض ده يقيس كل معدلات السكر بتاعه يلاقيها طبيعية، يقول زي السؤال اللي هنا شتم الدكتور بتاعه قال ان هو كذا وشخصني غلط ومش عارف ايه. الحقيقة ده مهم جدا أستاذ صموئيل، لأنه الفترة دي بنسميها فترة شهر العسل اللي هي السكر بتاعك معدلاته بتفضل في الشكل الطبيعي حتى بعد ما حضرتك تتشخص. بس مهم جدا انه حضرتك تفهم انه لو اتشخصت حضرتك او المعدلات السكر صايم طلع مرتين اكتر من 130 حضرتك مريض سكر، حتى لو القرايات بعد كده اتعدلت لفترة اللي هي بنسميها فترة شهر العسل دي لمرضى السكر تحديدا، هترجع القرايات دي تطلع تاني، معدلات السكر هتزيد تاني. فمهم حضرتك تفضل تاخد الميديكيشن والدكتور بتاعك صح، هو مش يعني مش ماشي غلط ولا حاجة زي ما حضرتك قلت، لأنه ده مهم جدا إن حضرتك تعرفه. It was very important to talk about the honeymoon period because I'm so glad we talked about it for this question as well. How's the insulin administration? Where should we apply our insulin or inject our insulin?
Well, insulin, as I said, we give insulin subcutaneously, which subcutaneous means right under the skin.
Slide 18.
And basically, it's the area, and it goes into the fat. So the area that have a lot of fat around it, basically in the stomach area, in the shoulder, you can have both shoulder, you can give it shoulder, thigh, any place in the body that have fat, you can give the injection. And you can choose between right or left arm, thigh, abdomen.
So abdomen is the fastest absorption?
Abdomen, because of the circulation that you have in the abdomen, circulation is the fastest. If you really want to get it fast, that's abdomen is the best place, yes.
So any fatty area, we can fold it and inject it?
Yeah, any fatty area will do. It's a good thing, a good place to give it. Basically, one of the things that I tell my patient is please make sure you rotate. I mean, if you give it to the right side of the abdomen, next shot should be on the left side, or arm or leg. You have a lot of area that have fat underneath the skin. That's
سؤالي دكتور شمس كمان عن المناطق اللي نقدر نحقن فيها، نقدر نحقن فيها الانسولين. الحقيقة سلايد 18 بتورينا كل المناطق دي، منطقة البطن بشكل عام لأنه بيبقى فيها دهون أكتر من غيرها. زي ما حضراتكم شايفين المناطق في الفخذين أو المناطق في الكتف بشكل عام، أو المنطقتين اللي ورا في منطقة الإليا، لأنه دي بتبقى المناطق الأكثر دهونا واللي نقدر نحقن فيها انسولين. حاجتين مهمين حضراتكم تعرفوها، منطقة البطن بتبقى أسرع امتصاص، ولكن الحاجة التانية اللي قال عليها دكتور شمس مهمة جدا، مهم ان احنا نبدل اماكن الحقن، ما نقعدش نحقن كل مرة في نفس المنطقة لانه ده هيعمل مشاكل هنقولها لحضراتكم دلوقتي. بس مهم ان احنا نبدل مناطق الحقن لانه دي مهمة جدا ان احنا نعمل الحكاية دي. Does insulin have side effects?
Of course, any medication, anything, even though insulin is your own natural hormone, have a side effect. It's injection. So obviously you might have reaction to the side, getting swollen, having redness, and the thing is that they have to always make sure that the area is clean before you give the injection. You don't want to introduce bacteria right underneath your skin. So that could be some other things with the insulin is weight gain. You might get. It's not huge, but there's a little bit of weight gain involved, possibility of that. And I don't want people to be scared of, no, I'm going to gain weight, I don't want to take insulin. So that's not the reason. No, not at all. The problem, the thing that is the worst one of everything is hypoglycemia. Again, I cannot stress that enough, that
we'll say the symptoms and signs. We'll have a section for
that, but hypoglycemia could cause insulin as we give insulin. Hypoglycemia is the other problem. And again, the skin reaction when you give it, those are all the side effects. One of the other things that insulin does, your heart relies on not only sugar, electrolyte, mainly potassium.
Okay. So it affects the potassium.
It affects the potassium. If a lot of insulin you give, the potassium goes down, it definitely will cause your heart to just slows down and become very dangerous. Yeah, exactly.
And because it's insulin switched the potassium to inside the cell, so
it pushes the basically the way, as I said, insulin, you have to think of it as like a key that goes to the lock, opens up for the sugar to go inside, and potassium follows it also, goes inside the cell. So in the circulation you have low potassium, which is going to affect the heart.
الحقيقه سالت دكتور شمس عن اعراض الجانبيه اللي ممكن تحصل مع الانجكشن بتاع الانسولين. قال لي احيانا بيحصل شويه انه الايد والرجل تورم في البدايه، ممكن يحصل زياده في الوزن ولكن بتبقى بسيطه جدا ومش هتبقى السبب ان احنا نوقف الانسولين. طبعا عشان انجكشن فاحيانا بيحصل اريتيشن في مناطق الحقن نفسها، ودي نقدر نتعامل معاها. واهم نقطه انه احيانا بيغير معدلات البوتاسيوم، بيخليه اقل من الطبيعي، وده بيأثر على القلب، بيخلي القلب نبضاته مش منتظمه. فده مهم جدا ان احنا نعرفه عن الانسولين. لو حضرتك حسيت باي حاجه من الحاجات دي مهم جدا انك تستشير الطبيب الخاص بتاعك. Hypoglycemia. So
hypoglycemia.
Because you have been stressing on hypoglycemia.
Very important, yes.
Right. So what's the how would I know as a patient I'm hypoglycemic? What's the initial symptoms and signs?
The first thing is, as I said, the brain. The only thing that the brain can use is basically sugar.
Right.
And brain is a very selfish organ that, you know what, that's all I can use, sugar. So it sends signal. And the way brain communicate with you is you will start having sweaty hand, you start having shakiness, you have heart palpitation, because the signal that the brain is sending to the liver to get me sugar. So you get palpitation, sweatiness, you have a feeling of nausea. This is the way your body is communicating that, hey, wake up, your sugar is going down. Send me more something, send me those glucotab. Eat a candy, eat something to bring the blood sugar up. You become very anxious, nervous. Your vision become very blurry all of a sudden. I have had actually patient, that's why I keep stressing on hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, is the patient have a symptoms just exactly like they had a stroke.
Yeah.
They cannot talk, they have one side weakness, and it's exactly like a stroke. But interesting, as soon as we give them sugar, they stand up and this all goes away. Right. So very important, these symptoms, please pay attention. Yeah, your body is talking to you.
Let's take a phone call very quick from California here. Salman, اتفضل حضرتك على الهواء. لو حضرتك توطي التلفزيون وتسمعنا من التليفون يبقى كويس. حضرتك سمعنا؟ اتفضل حضرتك على الهواء. لو حضرتك توطي التلفزيون شويه وتسمعنا من التليفون يبقى اتفضل حضرتك سؤالك، اتفضل حضرتك على الهواء.
تسمعني؟
سامعك كويس، اتفضل حضرتك على الهواء.
Okay, أنا عندي مرض السكر type 2.
Okay.
I take pills حبوب metformin and Grumberas and Geneva.
جنوفيا اوكي اتفضل.
I be controlled الصبح يصير 112 بعدين بالليل قبل ما انام هي 967. It's normal or لا؟
Okay. He's taking metformin and Genovia for his diabetes type 2, and he's usually in the morning it's 112. Just before he sleeps at night it's 167. He's asking, is that okay, like as average wise or?
Average wise, it is okay. I'm very happy with the fasting blood sugar. When you wake up in the morning, that is excellent. As I said before, it's less than 125, which certainly it is. It's beautiful. And at nighttime, it's not bad either. The thing that you need to really pay attention is that hemoglobin A1C. What was your latest hemoglobin A1C? You want it to be at least below 7. Okay. And that's the important part of it.
سلمان لو حضرتك معانا على التليفون لسه. حضرتك عملت الهيموجلوبين A1C او السكر التراكمي بتاع حضرتك؟ حضرتك توطي التلفزيون تسمعنا من التليفون بس. اوكي انا معلش هعتذر لحضرتك عشان الوقت يعني يعني فات بسرعه بينا. he disconnected. سؤال مهم جدا كان لدكتور شمس على الهايبوجلايسيميا او السكر لما بيوطى، وده الحقيقه جاي لنا اسئله عليه كتير. مهم جدا كمريض تعرف ايه هي السيمبتومز والساينز بتاع الهايبوجلايسيميا بتاع حضرتك. اولهم على ان انت تبتدي يبقى في عرق شديد جدا، ان انت تحس ان حضرتك جعان جدا، زي ما بيقولوا دايخ او مش في الوعي الطبيعي. كمان غممان نفس، ترجيع، مهم جدا ده. الكونفيوجن اللي بيحصل او تحس ان حضرتك مش مركز، نقطه مهمه جدا كمان الناس بتحس بيها، انه بتحس انه بقك ناشف قوي، في نشفان في ريقك زي ما بنقول. كمان بتحس انه ال يعني شفايف حضرتك او حضرتك منمله جدا في لما السكر بيبتدي ينزل. كمان الناس كتير قوي بتحس انها مش شايفه او نظرها مزغلل زي ما بنقول، وفي صداع شديد جدا، معدل ضربات القلب بيزيد جدا. كل دي مهمه جدا، اعراض مهمه جدا ان احنا نعرفها لمرضى السكر لما السكر بتاعهم بيوطى جدا معدلاته في الدم وبينزل على المعدلات الطبيعيه. زي ما قال دكتور شمس انه كل اللي انت تعمله انه دايما تخلي في جيبك اي حاجه سكريات تقدر تاخدها على طول، ده هيظبط نسبه السكر بتاعك. مهم كمان بس زي ما انا قلت نعرف انه الاعراض اللي هي بيبقى العرق الشديد والجوع والزغلله والصداع والتنميل، زي ما قال دكتور شمس حتى قال انه احيانا بتيجي شبه اعراض الستروك او الجلطه اللي في الدماغيه يعني. فما تتخضش، كل اللي عليك تعمله ان انت بس يبقى دايما في جيبك كاندي او اي حاجه بتاكله، والاعراض دي بتتحول تماما. بالنسبه لسلمان المكالمه اللي جات لنا من كاليفورنيا، دكتور شمس قال انه السكر الساين بتاعك الصبح 112 ده كويس جدا، بس مهم ان حضرتك تتابع بحاجه اسمها الهيموجلوبين A1C او السكر التراكمي عشان نقدر نحكم على الكلام ده. Hyperglycemia. How would I know like I'm hyperglycemic now and I would have like an impending coma?
The very first sign is basically your mouth become very dry. You urinate a lot.
Okay.
You go to bathroom and you urinate gallons and gallons and gallons and a lot of urine, and your mouth become very dry. Weight loss. Weight loss is another thing. As your blood sugar is not controlled, you don't have enough insulin. So what you do a lot of weight, losing weight also. And this is what you really need to be very careful, because if you don't have that, means your insulin is either you do not have insulin type 1, which you could basically what we call DKA, diabetic ketoacidosis, is you go basically into coma, which is life-threatening.
Okay.
And you have to watch that, and you become again confused and non-responsive.
I think breath odor too is like characteristic for the breath odor for those patients.
Yeah, if you go into the
fruity.
diabetic ketoacidosis, ketone smells like it's a fruity smell that you have, and need to talk to the rest of the family so they can recognize if they smelling fruity smell around, and that could be the sign of beginning of the diabetic ketoacidosis. That something needs to be done right away. It's an emergency basically.
الحقيقه برضو السؤال الاخير واللي مهم جدا معانا النهارده في حلقتنا هو فكره ازاي احنا عرفنا ايه هي الاعراض لما نسبه السكر بتقل، وقلنا كل اللي حضراتكم تعملوه اي كاندي او اي حاجه وتاخدوها. طيب لو السكر ابتدى يعلى جدا، وفي ناس احيانا بتوصل لغيبوبه سكر زي ما بنقول، مهم جدا ان حضرتك تعرف انه لما حضرتك تدخل التواليت كتير، لما حضرتك معدلات العطش تزيد، لما تحس انه دايما في ألم في معدتك بشكل مستمر بالذات مع مرضى السكر، كمان زي ما احنا قلنا البق الناشف او النشفان الريق زي ما بنقول، دي كلها اعراض ان السكر بتاع حضرتك عالي. I have one last question, might be weird. One of our viewers witnessed the death of one of the loved ones of his, and his blood sugar is shooting high. He went to his doctor, he told him it's temporary, don't worry. Don't take anything for it. So is that? He's asking if that's true or he needs to be on medication.
No, definitely. You need to have your medication. Even if it is temporary, even if it's short-lived, 1 month, 6 months, whatever it is, you need to have the longer your body is exposed to the sugar, not opposing with the insulin, the more exposure you have to side effect. We went through this before, from your eyes to kidney to nerves, and it could be detrimental.
So witness of the death of loved ones is not an indication, like that means he needs medication, he needs some follow-up.
Absolutely. I mean, even in the short term, you need to, again, remember, if your blood sugar is up, please remember, this is very important. I really need to stress this, that 125 and above,
okay.
diabetic.
السؤال اللي جالنا عن انه حد شاف حد عزيز عنده بيموت قدامه والسكر بتاعه ابتدى يرتفع، راح للدكتور قال له دي temporary. زي ما دكتور شمس قال، مهم انه حضرتك تتابع، لو السكر فضل عالي فحضرتك مريض سكر ولازم تاخد medications. One last message in few seconds for people in holiday season and sweets and diabetics.
Life, you have to have quality. We talked about it before. I believe in quality, not quantity. So that being said, moderation, you augment it. Do more activity. If you're going to have a sweet, okay, instead of parking in front of the mall, go park at the back of the mall. So be more active.
Okay. They're telling me we're going to eat chocolate no matter what in my earpiece, but don't eat chocolate. Dr. Shams said everything in moderation is good. It was my pleasure and honor. It was very informative, and we hope to see you like soon in White Coat again. And we said something about the GI and ulcers and stuff.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shams. Our pleasure and honor. بشكر حضراتكم على حسن المتابعة. وزي ما قال دكتور شمس في الكريسماس سيزون أو الهوليداي سيزون ممكن ناكل حاجات بسيطة، ولكن دايما باعتدال عشان نحافظ على معدلات السكر. كل سنة وانتم طيبين. ميري كريسماس. نشوفكم على خير بعد الكريسماس. حلقة السنة الجديدة هتبقى حلقة قوية جدا، بنستعد لها من دلوقتي. نشوفكم على خير الأسبوع الجاي إن شاء الله، وحلقة جديدة من وايت كوت.